Hi everyone, we're looking at the Harley Quinn animated TV series. If you could leave this video a like, that'd be great. This is an excerpt from our podcast,
The Weekly Planet.
We work in tandem. It's a podcast with two people. That's how podcast should be.
One of us starts the sentence and one of us finishes the sentence. But it's always me.
It's always the same guy.
Same guy every time.
That's how we do it.
We finish each other's sandwiches. I've done it again. I'm finishing your sandwich.
That's my sandwich.
No. It's not how this works.
It's always fun to stumble upon a show where you're like, this is pretty good. I mean, people talked about it being pretty good, and then you're watching and you're like, hey, it was pretty good.
That is fun. It's even more fun, people just saying, watch the show. You must watch the show.
Yes, that's
right. It's good. Everyone is telling you it's good.
Exactly.
You're less being stumbled upon the show and more being shoved face first into the show.
Right into it, yeah.
And initially you're like, but I don't, this makes me hate the idea of it, the very idea of it.
Well, before this, we were just talking about Hamilton. I'm like, you're going to watch Hamilton? And you're like, I'm sick of it already. I'm sick of hearing about it. You've had a goddamn...
Yeah.
It's up to here, even though it's good.
All right, if you say
I've seen it live, Mason.
Well, then me seeing it on the idiot box, mate, his experience is not going to be the same, is it?
You're making a mockery. But I still loved it. Anyway, we're not talking about that because we're going to talk about the Harley Quinn animated TV series. It's just wrapped up its second season. And both of us just literally jumped on board to it.
The whole thing,
Yeah. It's amazing.
Oh, it's a great show.
I heard it was good. I'd seen clips. I wasn't really sure how I was going to get it. At some point, I ended up doing a VPN and a bunch of other stuff to get it. And shotgunning it, for me, it was a really nice way to get through it. It didn't feel like it dragged. It's like 22-minute episodes. There's 26 in total. Is that right? Something like that? Yeah. I think it's one of those things where if you love the Batman animated series from the 90s...
Yes.
I feel like it's one of those, it's a great throwback to that as well as being its own thing.
It feels like when Hanna-Barbera decided to do an evolution of all their old shows like Space Ghost and,
that's the
Birdman and all that sort of stuff. And they've brought it into the modern day and they've decided to sort of revel in all the tropes and make fun of them, but also it's kind of a nice homage, but also it's based on a series that was good initially, as opposed to the Hanna-Barbera stuff, which sucked initially.
Yeah.
And the only way to go is up. So in a way...
It has its fans.
Yeah, no fans of ours.
Whoa.
I don't know if that's true.
That's exactly the comparison I've written here. It does have that Harvey Birdman kind of vibes for the 7 people.
I know, I'm mirroring your screen, so I know exactly.
Oh, that's how you know, okay.
Yeah.
Because I know you could easily go like, oh, this is DC but Rick and Morty. Oh, this is if Deadpool was Harley Quinn or whatever.
And unlike that Deadpool cartoon, it's actually coming out.
But it doesn't, to me, Harvey Birdman is like the most kind of apt comparison to me. And I also think the voice cast, because I recognize kind of voices in and out like through it.
And there's definitely, there are changes. And I imagine a lot of the pushback against this series, if indeed there was any when it started, is that we don't have the original Harley Quinn.
No.
We don't have the original Batman or Joker.
No. Though Diedrich Bader has voiced him before.
That's true, yeah.
Joke's on you, Joker. Jesus, this guy.
You'll never take us alive, bats.
So Kaylee Cuoco was Harley Quinn.
Yes.
I like that she hasn't just gone, I'll just do the 90s voice, which I feel like a lot of the time Margot Robbie feels like it's an impersonation of that. It's its own thing. I feel like there's kind of more subtlety to the character that she's put in.
And the accent doesn't necessarily have to be a part of the character.
No, absolutely not.
Although I think it did throw me initially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just being different.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't like it. Anything different.
I also like that she wouldn't really have to do the show because she'd be a multi-billionaire. They were getting $400 million a minute to do Big Bag towards the end of that series, So I like it when they can come on board and do this because it means like it's something that they want to do and want to be involved in.
Exactly. You sort of know that it's it's often a mark of quality. Like when you think about Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Bryan Cranston had done many years of Malcolm in the Middle and
some Seinfeld.
Exactly. Barring,
he was some of the monsters on Power Rangers.
That's true. He was the original. Was he something to do with Zordon?
He was
Zordon in the movie.
Yeah, he was the Zord in the movie, but he was in the original show as well.
Some of the voices, that's why he came back. Yeah.
Now you will feel the full power of the Zapper Apple.
So barring like multiple divorces or a drug problem, he would never have to go back to TV unless he wanted to, and I guess that's the same case here. Yeah,
exactly.
But the voice cast is incredible. We've got 2 Seinfeld alums, speaking of Seinfeld.
Yes, we do, yeah.
Jason Alexander is in it as Harley's landlord.
Yep. Cy Borgman.
Yes, which I didn't get until I finished watching the show.
Wow.
He's an old man who's also a cyborg.
I only got it just now. No, I got it immediately because it was really
Wow.
obvious. Mason.
Wow.
Lake Bale, Poison Ivy. Alan Tudyk I really like as the Joker.
Well, it's big shoes to fill, isn't it?
It absolutely is, but it's also, it's not a Mark Hamill impression, but I can't, but it just fits perfectly in this world, you know, and he does a few voices in it as well.
Let me try to maniacally laugh.
I really like Diedrich Bader's Batman, and what I like about Batman in this is even though it's silly and they kind of poke fun at him and all that, he's still Batman. Like he's 100% Batman. You know, he's not incompetent. Like he's not a fool. Like they make fun of him, you know, but he's not a complete dumbass. Do you know what I mean? And the same with the Justice League. Like Superman is Superman.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman. Yeah. Ron Funches is
King Shark.
King Shark, yeah. Who I think's really great. Also, a lot I like about King Shark and Clayface, the two of the characters that they've actually changed quite a lot. But I think it works as they make Clayface this thespian.
Raw! 'Tis I, the violent type of shark!
Changes have been made to what they seem to have done is sort of drawn various influences from various versions of a bunch of characters. Like there's elements of this. Speaking of Superman, there's references to the Phantom Zone that are clearly kind of Christopher Reeve movie references, and there's some solid references from like the 1960s Batman TV series and all that sort of stuff. And so Clayface is sort of, he is the original Clayface. Well, it's never said explicitly who was just an actor, a failed actor who turned to murder. Yeah. But now he has all the Clayface powers. But this one is like super flamboyant and just.
He's always trying out a new character. And
yes, exactly. Yeah. When he transforms into another person, it's not just for. He goes method with it. Yeah. When he becomes like a sorority girl, he gets obsessed with texting and boys.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Yeah. And then you get like Aquaman, he's kind of like Thor-ish. Which is what he often is in the comics as well, is this like
but again,
high and mighty kind of. Yeah.
But he's not, again, the show does skip the talking to fish jokes for the most part. There's a few in there.
Because what do you say,
well, exactly,
really,
but it's also like they also portray him as a competent Aquaman.
Yeah.
He's not Jason Momoa, but he is also, he can walk into a meeting of the Legion of Doom and just hand their asses to him because he's, super powerful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I also enjoy, I think probably one of my favorite characters. I'm looking at these and I'm like, I like all of these. There's no one here that I don't like, but the utterly broken Jim Gordon and having Christopher Maloney voice him is perfect. I don't even think I realized
because he's utterly broken from so many seasons on Law and Order SVU.
But if you look at like Happy, a show that he was on where he plays like a burnt out detective or failed detective or whatever it is. Yeah, it's just that vibe is perfect for like a Jim Gordon who's just desperate to be loved and just an alcoholic and his marriage is failing and he wants to be a hero but everyone hates him and it's just, it's really great.
And on the villain side you have James Adomian as...
Bane! You know it's Bane. I'm here every day, Todd.
Yes.
Who is sort of...
Oh, he's incredible.
Speaking of, they've taken elements from everything.
Yeah.
He's got the look of the Batman and Robin Bane.
Yes.
And he's got the Tom Hardy voice.
Yes.
And
the Pit, I guess.
Yeah,
the Pit is more Dark Knight Rises than anything.
But there's, but he's sort of... They've given him a personality to match the voice.
I will blow you up, you chicken satay.
Yes.
Which is his kind of...
People don't take him seriously.
People don't take him seriously. He wants to be a big league villain.
Yeah.
But most people just see him as a sidekick who's been... Like, he started out as a big name, but he's sort of been beaten down by Batman so many times that he's just a sidekick. He drives a Volvo. Yeah. Like, he's just sent out for people's, coffee orders and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And putting Jim Rash in as the Riddler's a great idea, and how his story progression is mostly that he gets more jacked as the series progresses for some reason. I think is a really fun idea. And Lex Luthor as well, speaking of Breaking Bad, Giancarlo Esposito is great.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that cool, calm, calculated Lex Luthor.
And that Lex Luthor is basically the exact same Lex Luthor as the Superman, the animated Superman Adventures, the Justice League.
Absolutely,
comic.
yeah.
They've just gone, well, mate, that was a good one. Just put him in there.
Just essentially do that again, yeah. For those who haven't seen it, we'll do minor spoilers. We're not going to spoil everything because I'm sure there's a lot of people that haven't seen this, but it really captures all the core elements of every character really well. It starts off of kind of this low-key Gotham kind of story, and then it slowly expands it as it goes, and you get weirder and bigger characters, and it goes interdimensional, and all these kinds of things start happening as it progresses. So it just ramps up It gets more and more insane, which you kind of get hints at in the Batman animated series, but it didn't kind of branch out until it was the Superman series and the Justice League, and they started kind of merging the worlds together more.
Yeah, it's like a Super Friends episode if they were just allowed to do anything.
Yes.
Like if they were allowed to just drop as many F-bombs as you want, just put in as much blood as you want.
Yeah.
Just,
it's funny though, because it doesn't feel like it's trying to be crass, like, oh, this is so in your face.
although it often is.
Yes.
Like you don't show your kids this.
No, definitely not.
I mean,
no.
you specifically, James. Do not show your children this. Do not show your 4-year-old and your newborn baby.
There is a lot of blood and violence and swearing, but yeah, you'd almost, by the look of it, and also a lot of the show, it plays also like a really good kids show as well.
And you learn quite quickly that no one is safe in this universe because it's a different continuity to everything else.
And it's sort of
your faves may not survive.
It almost could be a sequel to the animated series. Almost. It doesn't. Like, it doesn't line up, but yeah.
It kind of does. I mean, they mentioned there are references to things that happened 30 years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
So
yeah,
that works out.
Yeah,
when did the animated series start?
I had an exact example of why it doesn't work.
Oh,
I can't remember why.
Well, let's keep your negativity out of this, shall we?
Yeah, but no, it definitely is its own thing. But it's interesting you said about what it does to a bunch of characters, because it kills people that you wouldn't expect. For example, like there's some major villains. I'll spoil one because the clip has been revealed. The Joker just fries Scarecrow, just melts him dead.
Yeah,
And there's a few others that get like seriously maimed or injured or killed.
Cockney Scarecrow also.
This is the big leagues of evil.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. And there's also what I also really loved about it, when it would introduce characters like Queen of Fables and Dr. Trap.
Yes.
I haven't heard of these characters. I wasn't reading comics when these characters were kind of came through and they disappeared.
Yeah,
you know? So every time a character would appear that I didn't know, which didn't happen that often, Mason, because I'm a massive real fan.
You're a big true fan of comic
But
books.
I'm
This
like,
is the show for you.
Yeah. But I'm
right.
like, Queen of Fables, Google it. Yeah, it's a character that existed that they bring back. Same with, I'm like, Dr. Trap, is this like a knockoff Riddler they invented for the show? No.
He's real.
He's
Yeah,
a real.
right,
He's
exactly,
a guy with
yeah.
a real metal jaw. I think that's great that the lore that they dig into from history, I think is really, really interesting. And then you'll just get a character like Kite Man, who has always been a joke, is suddenly a major player in this series for some reason.
Yeah, right,
Yeah, which I think is really great.
Real nice.
Also, I love
because Harley has had to put together a it's a story as old as time. By that I mean since the animated series, that Harley is the thrust of this series is Harley's broken up with the Joker for good this time.
Yeah.
And she don't get no respect.
No.
She's Rodney Dangerfielding it out there, and she's got to get together a new crew to become a real supervillain and not as people think of her as a sidekick. So it's Poison Ivy and Clayface as mentioned, King Shark, Dr. Psycho.
Dr. Psycho, yeah. Who's the voice of that guy?
That's Sonny Hale.
Okay, right, yeah. And just even the idea that you can see like Themyscira, you can see Apocalypse and this version of Darkseid and what's he like, and it's like, oh, it's still Darkseid, you know, he's still a lunatic. Yeah. I think my favorite episode, if you're looking for one to jump off or on to.
The first episode?
Yeah, sure. The first episode is good, but where it really kind of kicked into gear for me was the one where Harley was looking to get a new nemesis and Robin shows up. And it's not Dick Grayson Robin, who's not in this series, I believe,
no, he's
at
not.
all.
No.
It's Damian Wayne keeps coming in and trying to be the foil for Harley Quinn. And I think that's such a fun idea that he's like, you're my nemesis. And she's like, I don't want to fight a little kid. I don't want to be your nemesis. Yeah, and it's Jacob Tremblay as well is Robin, which is really good. He's in Good Boys. He's in...
I know the show, but I haven't seen it.
No, it's a movie, so you don't know it.
Well, I don't know it then. I've heard those two words together then. Will that make you happy?
You've seen him in things. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The other part of this movie... the other part of this series...
Oh, the other movie.
Look, I haven't watched it, all right?
Yeah, that's what I figured.
The other big part of this series, which only develops more in the second series, is the relationship between Poison Ivy and Harley. That's something that they've explored more in the comics, that they end up in a relationship together. And initially, it just looks like they're going to be friends, but I think it does a really good idea of naturally like progressing that relationship throughout the series. You know, and I'm sure there'll be people like it's a forced agenda, et cetera, and whatever. But It didn't feel like that to me at all. For one, there is history for it in the comics, and I think it's a really great progression.
But they would say that's also a forced agenda.
Sure, yeah.
There's nothing
But there are people of different sexualities, is my point.
Well, that sounds like a forced agenda to me.
It seems like politically correct culture is killing the comedy.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think what I liked about that relationship was it started as like a friendship from a genuine place.
Yeah, right.
And they established that. And I'm like, oh, okay, so they're going in a different direction. They're not going to do the same thing that they've been doing in a lot of versions of the comics. But then when it kind of evolved into that, I thought that was really fun. And, and then, they spent some time together on Themyscira in one particular episode, and the Themyscira has been changed to this bizarre, like, resort, like, hotel spa situation, which was really fun.
Okay. My favourite moment in the series is probably the crew show up at Mr. Freeze's hideout, and he emerges from the shadows, and Clayface screams out, "Lady Gaga!" That's who he thinks it is.
That's a great Mr. Freeze episode.
Yeah.
They introduced Nora as like a proper character as well.
That's true, yeah.
Which is really fun, yeah. It does end on a bit of a cliffhanger because there's like a the end question mark.
Yeah.
But it seems like we are getting a season 3 though, so this is going to be something I'm going to try and watch weekly next time it rolls around. Because this was a really genuinely pleasant surprise, and to me one of the best things that DC have done in recent memory, like across everything.
Everything, yeah, you're right.
Like so a lot of their movies I really like, and some of them not so much, and the same with the animated stuff, but this is definitely well up there.
Hell yeah.
So there you go. Anyways, if you haven't seen it, you should totally watch it. You should give it a chance. How many episodes should they give it a chance?
All the episodes.
But what if
you're not in it, but I mean, I feel like the standard rule is if you're not feeling it by like episode 4,
yeah,
you probably give up. But she's, by episode 4, she's gotten the bloody crew together.
Yep.
Dr. Psycho has shamed himself by calling Wonder Woman the C-bomb on television.
That's right. Yeah. The universe it's set in stone at that point. It's set in motion would probably be a better way to put it. Yeah. And if you have seen it, we should watch it again then, shouldn't you?
Yeah.
You gonna watch it again?
Yeah.
Well, then there you go.
Wow.
Be like Mason, watch it again. I'm not gonna watch it again. I'm gonna watch other things.
Interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, I can't wait for the next season. It was really great to be able to go, oh, there's 26 episodes of this. Awesome. So yeah, there you go. That's this show. Watch it if you haven't.
Oh, also there's the Penguin Bar Mitzvah episode.
Yes,
in the first 3 as well. So
yeah. There you go. All right. Hey, thanks for watching that. Again, we've got a podcast called The Weekly Planet. It comes out every Monday morning. We do some news of the week, don't we, Mason?
Absolutely, we do.
We do a topic. We do some letters. We talk about some stuff that we've watched, read, or listened to. If you're in a pandemic, which you are, might be a great opportunity.
Make a pandemic.
Yes.
To listen to the Weekly Planet podcast.
Agreed. And also bigsandwich.co, where we have another bonus podcast, an ad-free feed, movie commentaries, a bunch of other stuff. All right, goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
And bless you all.
Yes.
Yes.
God bless us, everyone.
Yes.